Have you ever found yourself trapped in a conversation with someone who just can't stop talking and didn't know how to politely disengage? We've all been there, haven't we? And while it's important to be a good listener, there are times when we simply need to disengage. But how do we do that without offending the other person or coming across as rude? Today, we're going to delve into the art of polite disengagement. First and foremost, it's crucial to stay polite. Yes, even when you're itching to escape from the conversation. Maintain a respectful demeanor, and remember, everyone has a story to tell. Even if you're not particularly interested in what the person has to say, it's essential to respect their right to express themselves. The goal here is not to give a cold shoulder or act dismissively, but to gently steer the conversation to a close. Now let's talk about nonverbal cues. Nonverbal cues are your secret weapon in situations like these. They're subtle, but when used effectively, they can send a clear message. If you're standing, you can gently turn your body away from the person. If you're sitting, you can avoid prolonged eye contact. These signals can convey disinterest without you having to say a word. But remember, subtlety is key. You don't want to be overtly rude or make the person feel uncomfortable. So, what do we have so far? A polite demeanor and the strategic use of nonverbal cues. These are the first two steps in mastering the art of polite disengagement. But there's more to it, and we'll delve deeper into those strategies in the upcoming scenes. In the meantime, let's recap. When you find yourself caught in a never-ending conversation, remember to stay polite and use nonverbal cues to signal your disinterest. These two strategies alone can go a long way in helping you handle talkative individuals with tact and grace. So remember to keep your demeanor respectful and use subtle body language to convey your message. It's all about finding a balance between being a good listener and knowing when and how to disengage. After all, communication is not just about talking, it's about knowing when to listen and when to politely step away. Now that we understand the importance of politeness and nonverbal cues, let's delve into some more techniques. One effective method of disengagement is to provide short, non-committal responses. This could be as simple as an "oh, I see" or a interesting. These responses give the talkative person an acknowledgement, but they don't invite further conversation. Another strategy is to stay focused on an unrelated task. If you're in a situation where you can't physically move away, immersing yourself in a book, a work task, or even music through headphones can send a clear signal that you're not available for conversation. Next, we have gratitude. This is a polite way to disengage without causing offense. Try saying something like, "I've enjoyed our chat, but I really need to concentrate right now." This acknowledges the person's effort to converse with you, but also communicates your need for quiet or focus. Sometimes, it's necessary to set boundaries, especially when dealing with someone who persistently engages you in lengthy conversations. Having an honest, private conversation about your need for personal space or quiet time can help. Remember, it's important to be respectful and considerate when having this discussion. Lastly, there's the use of excuses. While it may not be the most direct approach, it can be a useful technique in certain situations. You could mention that you need to make an important call, or that you have work to do. You might even say you're feeling under the weather. The key here is to be believable and consistent with your excuses. These techniques can help you maintain a balance between being polite and expressing your need for personal space. Remember, it's not about being rude or dismissive, but about preserving your own space and time in a respectful manner. The key is to be assertive, yet considerate of the other person's feelings. By practicing these strategies, you can effectively manage your interactions with overly talkative individuals. While the techniques we've discussed so far are effective, sometimes you may need to employ more advanced strategies. Let's delve into the final 5 tactics. Firstly, try redirecting their attention. If you can steer the conversation towards a topic that interests them but doesn't require your active involvement, it's a win-win. They get to share their passion and you get a break from the constant chatter. Secondly, don't hesitate to seek help from others. If you're in a group setting, engage others in the conversation to divert the talkative person's attention away from you. This strategy can provide a much-needed respite, and it also gives others a chance to participate. Next, remember to be firm but polite. If the person persists despite your cues, it's okay to calmly but firmly express your need for some alone time or silence. You might say, "I've enjoyed our conversation, but I need some quiet to focus right now." The fourth strategy is to practice active listening. This might sound counterintuitive, but showing that you're listening by nodding or making brief comments can sometimes reduce their need to talk. When people feel heard, they often feel less compelled to keep repeating themselves. And lastly, choose the right setting. If possible, opt for quiet, secluded spaces to minimize the chances of unsolicited chatter. For example, if you're in a shared workspace, consider using headphones or moving to a less crowded area. These advanced strategies require a bit of finesse, but with practice they can be highly effective. Remember, the goal isn't to shut people down, it's to manage your own energy and focus while still respecting others' need to communicate. With these advanced strategies in your toolkit, you'll be able to handle even the most relentless chatterboxes. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've covered today. We started with understanding the art of polite disengagement, discussed various techniques for disengagement, and delved into advanced strategies for handling talkative people. We've learned that redirecting attention, seeking help from others, being firm yet polite, practicing active listening, and choosing the right setting are all effective strategies to manage our energy and focus while still respecting others' need to communicate. But knowing these strategies isn't enough. It's time to put them into practice. In the coming days, I encourage you to try out these techniques in your social interactions. Notice how they impact your conversations and how you feel afterwards. You might find some strategies work better for you than others, and that's okay. The key is to keep practicing and refining your approach. Remember, mastering the art of polite disengagement isn't about shutting people down. It's about managing your own energy and focus in a respectful way. So go ahead and try out these techniques. Share your experiences in the comments below. We'd love to hear how you're progressing. Before we wrap up, remember, mastering the art of polite disengagement is a skill that can greatly improve your social interactions. Practice makes perfect. So keep practicing, keep refining, and you'll soon find yourself more at ease in social situations, even with the most relentless chatterboxes.